there and welcome back to Building with the Boys. We've now got a bonus episode of Christmas movies for people who don't like Christmas movies. And this is based on the fact that at this time of the year when it's busy, not everybody's got the time to spend watching, old horror movies for 2 hours. So these are shorts that you can watch. They do the rounds about this time of the year. If you're in the UK, particularly on TV Gold and Play, you'll find these. And also in iPlayer, you'll find a lot of these as well. The one we're going to start with is the Christmas special of Inside Number 9, which is called The Devil at Christmas. If you've not seen Inside Number 9, I'd advise you do. It is an anthology series similar to, in the same vein as Twilight Zone or Tales of the Unexpected, and it's well worth your time. Now, they all have the same theme to them. All of them are set inside of a number 9. Regardless of what that is, be that a house, be that a car, be that whatever. That's the running theme. Every single one is set inside number 9. And this one in particular deals with the studio. It's filmed in Studio 9. And it's about a horror movie called The Devil at Christmas. And it's filmed like it was one of those old 1970s Amicus horror movies, or Hammer horror movies. And it's done very well, so it looks like it's a 1970s movie. And it plays out normally, and you'll be watching thinking, what am I watching here? Because it just looks like a corny old horror movie. And then you hear voices talking. It's very clever. And it's like a DVD commentary of what you're watching. It's the director telling you and pointing things out, and he points out continuity errors, and it's very clever. But the whole thing's filmed very well. It looks, the outfits, the dialogue, everything very much looks like one of those old Hammer or Amicus 70s movies. They've made a poster to go with it. This is the poster. Done amazingly well because in the late 70s, Hammer and Amicus were still churning out the same fare that they had for years, and their industry was taking a hit. When America was producing horror movies like Halloween and Friday the 13th, and then Italy were coming in with Suspiria, and you're getting The Exorcist and Night of the Living Dead and Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. The UK was still churning out, Zoltan, Hound of Dracula and Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. It was just old hat, nobody wanted it. So companies like Amicus tried to move with the times, and they tried to offer more contemporary fare, and they did make films very similar to this one. And this one in particular, they're doing it Inside Number 9. It's a comedy ultimately, but it's about a 1970s movie about Krampus, who we've already discussed Krampus, but it's done really well, and you don't really know where it's going. You can hear the DVD commentaries going. You're thinking, well, there's got to be a twist ending, because that's what's kind of synonymous with Inside Number 9, the twist. And when I say this one has got a nasty twist, I mean this has got a nasty twist. I remember watching this for the first time and my jaw dropped, because you'll be thinking, where is this going? And then literally the last 3 minutes of this are horrendous, and it's like, and it's a real revelation. It is nasty. But it comes from nowhere. It comes out of nowhere. You're really not expecting it, and it's done incredibly bloody well. So if you've got 30 minutes to spare, that's a good one. That's a good Christmas show for people who don't like Christmas shows. The other one we're going to talk about is, funnily enough, speaking of Amicus earlier, is And All Through the House. And All Through the House. Now, you can see this in 2 places, because this has been made twice. So the original version of this was originally an EC Comics story that appeared in the Vault of Horror. And I've got a big love for these. I collected all the hardbacks of the complete works of Vault of Horror and Tales from the Crypt and The Haunt of Fear. So this was originally a comic that appeared in the Vault of Horror, and this was the issue. So Amicus, as I said, were trying to move forwards with the sort of fare. They couldn't all be Dracula and the Mummy anymore. So they were trying to move forward. So they did do a deal with EC Comics where they made a Tales from the Crypt movie, and they also made a Vault of Horror movie. Now, ironically, the Tales from the Crypt movie they made was like a portmanteau where it was like 5 stories. And All Through the House is one of them, and it features Joan Collins. So they go into this vault, into the crypt, and the crypt keeper there tells them their fate, and he tells Joan Collins her fate, and it cuts to the story. And the story is that she murders her husband on Christmas Eve. She does it for the money and to be with her boyfriend. And then it's a case of, well, how do I dispose of the body? And it starts with her murdering him, and then a news report comes across the radio that a deranged madman has escaped from an asylum and is dangerous. It's in the local area. He's dressed as Santa Claus. So she sees a way around this, and she's like, I can blame him. So she can say this guy broke in, killed her husband, and that's what I'm going to do. And anyway, the deranged madman Santa Claus does turn up at her house. And it's got twists to it, and it's hokey. Now, they remade it. So you skip forwards to 1989, and the American Tales from the Crypt show comes out. So you can also see this there. And again, you can see this on YouTube. It's there. So if you search "And All Through the House Tales from the Crypt," this will show up. So this one, I mean, this is the Joan Collins version. Now, to see that, you've got to pretty much watch the whole film. Or, if you just want the 30-minute version, you can find the Tales from the Crypt version. Again, if you searched "And All Through the House Tales from the Crypt," it will show up on YouTube. It's a 30-minute, it's in and out. And it's got a better production budget, it really does. But this is the American version. Now, both of them have slight differences. I would say the American version from Tales from the Crypt is a lot more accurate to the original story from Vault of Horror than that one is. But again, it's a fun, kind of nasty treat for Christmas. If you've got 30 minutes, it's worth your time. Now, the next one that I'm going to advise isn't horrible at all. It's not a horror movie. It's not scary, but there is a movie on YouTube. It was released on YouTube, and I watch this every year. Genuinely, I watch this every year since it's been released. At the start of Christmas, sort of get me in the mood. And it's called Christmas in a Day. Now, what this was originally, there was a documentary made called Life in a Day, where people were given cameras or asked to film footage of themselves and send it in, and they edited it all into a whole day. So it starts at the stroke of midnight with somebody being born, and it sadly ends at midnight with somebody passing away. So you see life in a day, you see everybody's kind of lives and the different things. You see people who've got happy and good lives, people who've got not so happy. But then, as part of an advertisement, Sainsbury's did Christmas in a Day, and an entire film was made, which you can see on YouTube, and it's about Christmas in the UK. But you see every side of it. So it starts with, you see people getting the Christmas trees, and you see the kids opening advent calendars and people building up to it. But you see every part of Christmas. So that's the good and the bad. You see people that are enjoying it, they're getting ready for night out, and you see the religious side of it, and you see people that don't celebrate it at all. You see people that are having wonderful Christmases, and you sadly see people that are having horrible Christmases. You see people that are alone, and you see people that are with their families, and it's amazing. It's amazing, but it's not saccharine. I mean, this is the thing. It's not, you know, the twinkly kind of sterilized version of Christmas that we get. It's raw Christmas. So you do see the family that have the argument on Christmas Day, because if you've never been in that situation, good for you. But I think most of us have. Most of us at some point have had a Christmas Day that got a little uncomfortable. You know what I mean? People have been drinking all day. Family that don't see each other often gather around, and all of a sudden it all boils over. Well, you see that in this movie. But you see every aspect of Christmas, and it is well worth your time. So if you search Christmas in a Day, you will find it, and it is well worth, I think, 45 minutes. Because you just see everything. It's gorgeous. It just really is. And you see life. You see what Christmas is really like, not, you know, animated characters and pixie dust. You see actual Christmas, and it's a beautiful thing. It's really good. Again, well worth your time. I think I've got some stills of it. Here's some stills. Christmas in a Day, and honestly, that's I can't recommend that enough. That's really good. If horror's not your thing, it's a good alternative to your normal Christmas fare. The other ones that are good, and you will find these are shown on BBC4 a lot, there was a tradition in the UK of the Christmas Eve ghost story. And they're fantastic. They did loads in the 70s. There was the Station Master and Whistle and I'll Come to You, and they're really good. And you will see those doing the rounds. And more recently, Mark Gatiss has been making some modern ones. They're still set in the kind of 1800s and turn of the century, but they've got better production budgets. They have. But again, if you search BBC4 listings in your kind of radio times, you'll find Ghost Stories of Christmas, because they repeat most of them over Christmas, and they are well worth your time, because they're not particularly Christmassy. They're not set at Christmas. They're just nice kind of spooky stories for Christmas Eve. And again, the bizarre tradition of the Christmas ghost story I'd like to see come back, because it's the perfect time for something spooky Christmas Eve. You've got a roaring fire, you got brandy on the go, you know, it's all quiet through the house. It's the best time for a ghost story, it really is. And there's some great ones. There's some great ones, and they are well worth your time. You can also find the bulk of these on YouTube. They are there, so you can go and see them. And then my final recommendation is Black Mirror Christmas Special, which was Black Mirror White Christmas. And it's dark, right? So this one's bleak. There is nothing going on in this that will make you feel good at the end of it. So you need this sort of constitution for this one. But the Christmas special of Black Mirror is available on Netflix, and it is it's a feature-length one, but it's horrendous, and it deals with, if you haven't seen Black Mirror is like the Twilight Zone, but it's based on technology, and the creator of it, Charlie Brooker, said it's not set now, it's set 5 minutes from now, and it involves a lot of technology that potentially could exist. And this one particularly deals with almost like webcams that are in your eyes, so everything you see is recorded. It deals with that quite heavily. And it's 3 little stories that are all linked, but you don't know why until the end. And it's got an absolute gut punch of an ending. But again, I can't tell you too much without spoiling it, but it stars John Hamm and Timothy Spall. Not Timothy Spall, Rafe Spall, Timothy Spall's son. It's fantastic. It's really good. It's the 2 of them that are in kind of an observation post, and they're having a conversation about how they got there, and then more and more is revealed as it goes on, and it's really good. It's well worth your time. So those are just some quick ones. If you don't have time to devote to a 2-hour movie, but you still want something a little festive but a little darker, those are the ones I recommend, and you can go and find those now. That's it for this one. It's just a quick bonus episode for just some quick ones if you need some time. But out of all of them, the one I would recommend more than anything is Christmas in a Day. You know what? I'll throw a link into the description as well. So if you want to see Christmas in a Day, you can go see it. It's well worth your time. That's all from me. We will be back with the final Christmas movie. People don't like Christmas movies next week. Until then, please, in a world we can be anything at all, just be nice. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.